Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. My name is, of course, Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today we have the DC Justice League Medicom Mafex number 61, Aquaman. Now this is of course Jason Momoa's portrayal of Aquaman as we first seen in the DC film Justice League. Now that film is not beloved as such, but Jason Momoa did shine as Aquaman. Beforehand, to non-DC readers, Aquaman seemed a bit of a joke character, the guy who could talk to fish, but obviously he has a lot of lore in the comic books. He's an old school character, and this is definitely a new take on the character. And apparently the Aquaman film is getting some really good early reviews. So I thought I would jump on the hype early and add another character to my Justice League collection. I don't really get many DC figures, not because I don't like DC, just because the sort of DC multiverse line is not very good. So if I'm going to buy a DC figure, it is going to be one of these imports, whether it's SH Figure Arts or Mafex. So I think out of the two, I will try and complete that movie version of Justice League, as I didn't really hate the film as much as other people. But as I said, today's about Aquaman and it looks really good. We've already seen this box before. It's the same box that all the Justice League characters from Mafex have been released in. I think I've already got Batman, so find the videos tab and check out my Batman review. Maybe I'll get the others. But as you can see, he comes with a mother box, his trademark trident, and interchangeable head and interchangeable hands. But as always, the packaging does look really nice. Just promo pictures all the way around. Mafex is usually do a good job. Definitely stepped up their game this year. So without further ado, let's open him up. And here we have Aquaman out of the box. And I must admit, this figure is very impressive already. Straight away, you take it out of the box, the sculpt work, the detailing are very impressive in person, with that green and gold paint showing off the sculpted detail with his armor. And yeah, just looks very, very nice. Very movie accurate as well. I'm hoping we see this outfit in the new film. This Atlantean armor with the sort of A on the belt there. The face sculpt looks like Jason Momoa, and he comes with a ton of accessories, which I'll show you in a minute as well. But yeah, just first impression that this guy are very high. I like it a lot. So let's look at what he comes with. Now, obviously, apart from the figure, he comes with these accessories, some hands, a head, a mother box, and a trident. So this head is a more angrier looking head. And I do think it looks like Jason Momoa from certain angles. And from certain angles, he looks like an angry rabbit, but still a decent head sculpt. The mother box is a simple accessory. It is just a cube, but it has got a little bit of weight to it, and it does have some sort of dry brushing or some sort of paint detail there. But yeah, I'm assuming this is the mother box that was looked after by the Atlanteans. He does come with a trident, which is just all silver, and it pops out at the bottom here, so you can slide on those interchangeable hands and get him to grip it really, really well. So obviously these are the hands I'm talking about. My hands are massive, so I don't want to hold them, but they have little holes in them, so you can slide. Well, I'll show you now actually. So I'll pop that open and I'll slide the trident through the hand, put the trident back on, and now I can attach that hand to Aquaman, the figure, and he's going to hold it, not a problem. So that is how you hold the trident. And then he also comes with two other pairs of interchangeable hands, both open palm hands. I guess they're for swimming, but they're not your sort of standard flat palmed. These are sort of open palm hands, and these ones are a little bit more clenched, I guess, for grabbing your enemies or whatever. But yeah, so including the fisted hands, which already come on the figure, which are there. He comes with 4 sets of hands, a trident, 2 heads, and a mother box. So here is a closer look at the head he comes packaged with, which is just a very bland expression. But as I said, I do think you see Jason Momoa from certain angles. I like his big beard, his long hair with the sort of blonde highlights at the bottom, but they're sort of blondish green. But still, definitely like it. And under his head as well, his neck tattoos are actually there as well, which are a nice touch. So while I've took the head off, let's put that second head on. So I was joking and said this one looks like an angry rabbit, but it does. There you go. So you heard it pop on, and it pops on nice and securely, but very simply. And yeah, there is a more angrier Jason Momoa with those gritted teeth, but I do think it's the exact same hair sculpt, just an angrier expression on the face. And there he is holding his trident. As you can see, I've put on that hand and it is very tight. That is not going to fall. But I just wanted to show you some of the figure's detail and articulation before we move on. So let me just zoom in real quick, see if I can focus on some of that armor. And it is sculpted armor. You can actually feel the ridges on there and it holds the articulation very well. You just got to be careful with it. It does have double jointed elbows. This armor does sort of move with the arm, so you can get his arm up. And let me just show you these hands while I'm zoomed in. So you've got to be very careful. So there's the hand, you pop it out and it's on a tiny little peg. So then if you want to peg one of the other hands in, just got to do it very delicately through the hole. Just be careful with it. Not force it too much because you want it to be tight, but you don't want it to snap. So there you go. So just be careful. But moving down, I really like the sort of Atlantean sort of crest on his bout. And the armor continues all the way down his leg. His knees, I do want to mention, you just got to be careful with articulating the knees. So the double joint is hidden very well, but when you move it all the way, the plastic sometimes will get stuck on the shin. So it's sort of like jammed. So you just got to push it a little bit and let it go up. So just be careful with it. But overall, it's still very, very good. Obviously, he has ankle pivot and he also has toe. Is it toe? Yeah, there is a toe pivot there as well, which is a nice touch. Don't know why, but some people really love that toe pivot. So yeah, details, this figure is very impressive. And I just wanted to quickly mention as well, he has a decent crunch, so you can get him in some, like he doesn't fly, but he definitely swims. So get him holding his trident and you can get him, well, he jumps out of the sky, doesn't he, on Batman's bloody car. So definitely get him swimming as well with his trident. So yeah, and Mezco, I should mention, do give you a stand in the packaging, so you can definitely get him in some swimming poses on your shelf if you wanted to. But overall, really liking this figure. As always, let's finish with some comparisons, and as you can see, here he is holding his trident and the mother box, which is a nice little accessory packing if you're a fan of the movie. As I said, if you are collecting all of the Justice League members, I think Wonder Woman and Cyborg come with the other boxes. I think after seeing how good this guy is, I'm definitely going to try and pick up Cyborg and maybe even the Flash. Who knows? They are very expensive though. Anyway, into some comparisons. As I've mentioned, I do have the Batman from Mezco. He has been standing on my shelf looking very good for a while. I've also got the Ben Affleck version of Bruce Wayne on pre-order, which I don't think comes out until the new year. But do those two scale quite well? Is Aquaman taller than Bruce Wayne? Possibly. I'd have to look at some pictures. And here is the SH Figure Arts Wonder Woman. I will probably keep this one and not get the Mezco Wonder Woman, even though that one does seem to be an improvement from the previous versions. But yeah, these guys are looking very good, and it does make me want to get more of the Justice League members. These two had their own solo films, so I guess that's what pushed me to get them. Batman, let's be honest, it's Batman, one of the best comic book characters of all time. And yeah, these guys look very, very good. Now I need Superman, Flash and Cyborg, don't I? And it wouldn't be a Dan Who Reviews review without a Marvel Legend comparison. So here are two completely random Marvel Legends I've just pulled out of the shelf. Completely random, no similarities to Aquaman at all, nothing to compare. Just two completely random Marvel Legends I thought I would compare with Aquaman. So final thoughts are, if you couldn't tell, I really like this figure. I do think it's a very well made, it's a sturdy figure, all the joints are tight, the sculpt work, the paint work's really good, there's some accessories. Overall, yeah, Mafex do a high price point, but they do not disappoint with the quality of the figures, especially recently. I know they had a bad rep at one point, but if you're a fan of the Justice League or you want to get ahead of the game on the Aquaman hype before the film comes out, then definitely get hold of this guy. It is very good, and it makes me want to get the rest of the Mafex Justice League so I can have them all on display. So you let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, there are over 200 videos on the videos tab, so go and check them out if you want to hear me ramble talking about the toys that I buy. But until then, people, hit that subscribe button, much appreciated, and I shall see you on the next one.